From a podcast conversation that got out of hand to a boxer who says he can rip limb from limb, would Jon Jones really beat Tyson Fury? It's an age-old debate that's raged on ever since people have come together. Fighting for sport and entertainment, which martial arts is really the best? With 1,000 different fighting styles from all around the world, each one with its loyal followers who swear by its effectiveness, these debates tend to get a little bit heated. In recent years, promotions like ONE FC and the Ultimate Fighting Championship have given fighters from around the globe a platform to duke it out and see what really stands the test of being locked in a cage with another savage fighter. From this experiment has emerged what we now refer to as mixed martial arts, or MMA, a combination of Thai kickboxing, American wrestling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and just about any other martial art that has some merit to it. The advent of the UFC, headed by its strategic president, Dana White, along with the vocal advocacy of prominent media figures like Joe Rogan, has helped to popularize the new sport all across the globe. Prior to mixed martial arts, and arguably till this day its only real competitor in the combat sports arena, boxing was the primary fighting form that captured fans' attention. A gentleman's sport, using only punches, boxing has given rise to some of the most famous athletes of all time, including Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. But since MMA has emerged as a competitor for the original combat sport juggernaut, fans have wondered, who would fare better in a matchup between the respective sports athletes? In episode 1960 of The Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan the comedian, UFC commentator, and mixed martial arts fanatic sat down for a conversation with his friend and fellow comedian, Andrew Schulz. The conversation somehow landed on who would win in a no-holds-barred fight between Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King, boxing's current heavyweight champion of the world, or Johnny Bones Jones, former light heavyweight and current heavyweight UFC champ. Both considered perhaps the greatest practitioners of their respective sports. It was an entertaining question, and Rogan seemed to have a pretty strong opinion on the outcome. Joe explained that he believes in a no-holds-barred fight between the two, Jones would destroy Fury every single time. He said, "No one thinks that Tyson Fury can beat Jon Jones in a fight. No one thinks that. Tyson doesn't think that." He went on to explain that if the two were locked in a room, he'd bet all his money on Jones exiting the victor, citing his grappling ability as the main difference. He elaborated, "The threat of the takedown looms so large, that shot would come so unexpectedly, and when he gets his hands around you, you'd be stunned." Rogan did give Fury his flowers, calling him an amazing boxer, but overall, he'd go with Jon Jones. The conversation moved on, and Joe probably didn't realize the online drama that would follow his comments. Fury got wind of what was said in the episode, releasing a video where he goes on an angry tirade, proclaiming himself the baddest man on the planet and saying that there's not a man alive who could beat him. He even went so far as to insult the podcaster, who has previously hosted him on his show, branding him a little bald-headed midget and a little oof. It seems like Joe's opinion really got under his skin. Fury's outburst caught the attention of Jones, who tweeted at the heavyweight boxing champ saying that it seems that Rogan's comment struck a nerve. The UFC champ went on to challenge Tyson, urging him to speak with Dana White and set up a meeting between them. Dana White himself has spoken about a fight between the two. When asked about their online exchange, he said, "If Tyson Fury really wants to fight Jon Jones in the UFC, I will make it happen." He also seemed to agree with Rogan, declaring Jon Jones the baddest man on the planet. After all that talk, Tyson responded in a video where he seemed to drastically change his tune. The heavyweight champion said, "Jon, you talk about being in a cage. I'm not a cage fighter, mate." He went on to assert himself as the best boxer in the world, challenging Jones to step into the ring with him. Jon himself noticed the sudden switch from the boxing champion, including the nuanced change from real street fighting to the convenience of a boxing ring with boxing rules. Jones tweeted, "Yesterday Tyson says, 'No man born from a mother can beat me.' Today he says, 'Jon can never beat me in a boxing ring.' Yeah, I'm glad we got that clarified. He continued to accuse the boxer of switching his beat faster than Travis Barker. The back and forth between the two heavyweight champs has sparked a debate amongst fighters and fans as to who would win in their colossal matchup. This isn't the first time it's been suggested that a UFC champion face a boxer. In fact, it's far from it. Perhaps the largest non-title fight in history was the 2017 boxing match between former UFC champion Conor McGregor and the undefeated boxing champ Floyd Money Mayweather. Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou opted for free agency in early 2023, supposedly considering the option of venturing into boxing to fight Deontay Wilder and even Tyson Fury himself. Fury and Ngannou literally faced off in the boxing ring at Wembley Stadium after Fury knocked out Dillian Whyte in April 2022. Eventually, neither fight materialized. In most cases, it's unanimously agreed that the boxer would win if boxing rules were applied, but in a no-holds-barred fight, the mixed martial artist will always prevail. Former UFC double champion Daniel Cormier has weighed in on the debate involving his former rival Jones and boxing champ Tyson Fury. DC spoke on his YouTube channel saying, "For the record, Tyson Fury in a full-on fight has no chance against Jon Jones. It doesn't get more clear-cut than that." He did, however, follow up by adding, "In a singular skill set with boxing gloves, Tyson Fury will beat Jones every day of the week. He's not the only one who feels that way." Former UFC middleweight champion and UFC commentator Michael Bisping took to his YouTube channel to analyze the back and forth between the two heavyweights. Speaking on Tyson, Bisping said that he's a massive fan, but went on to add, "The reality is, boxing is a limited skill set. It just is. It's one variant of mixed martial arts." Ultimately, the former middleweight came to the same conclusion that Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier reached. Jon Jones would maul Tyson Fury in a real-life fight. Bisping mentioned in his video, perhaps the only instance in history when a world-class boxer has stepped into the cage with a mixed martial artist, and it didn't end well for the boxer, that's for sure. At UFC 118 in 2010, the three-division boxing champion James Toney put his money where his mouth was and stepped into the octagon with MMA Hall of Famer Randy Couture. As anyone who knows anything about fighting predicted, within the first 30 seconds, Couture had taken Toney to the ground, and within the first round, the world-class boxer had been submitted. As a combat sport, boxing is so much more limited than mixed martial arts, whereas MMA benefits from the principles of boxing, plus every other combat sport in the world. Other MMA fighters have echoed Rogan's opinion. Renato Moicano tweeted out, "That's not even a debate. There's no question Jon Jones would beat the out of Fury in a fight." Middleweight contender Strickland agreed, tweeting that Tyson would definitely win a boxing match, but in a normal fight, Jon Jones would come out victorious. It's not just mixed martial artists who feel that way, though. Former cruiserweight boxing champion Tony Bellew weighed in on the debate, saying in an interview that no boxer has a chance against an MMA fighter, even going so far as to say that mixed martial artists can rip limbs from limbs. I don't know about all that, but it's pretty obvious what the consensus is. In boxing, Tyson Fury can't be touched, but Jones would annihilate the boxing champion if it came to a real fight, or even just a bout in the cage. Seemingly, Fury feels the same way too, which is illustrated by the fact that the moment he was offered a fight, he was quick to remind everyone that he's only a boxer and not a cage fighter, as he puts it. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. So, from a podcast conversation that got out of hand to a boxer who says he can rip limb from limb? That was if Jon Jones would really beat Tyson Fury.